Wow, guys, just wow. Uncharted is kind of whack. Not just kinda, it's totally whack, guys. There are so many elements about this movie that just don't work. Alright, first of all, I'm going to tell you what it's about. So Uncharted, it's about this guy named Nathan Drake who meets up with this guy named Sully. Nathan Drake is played by Tom Holland. Sully is played by Mark Wahlberg. They meet up. Sully used to be friends with Nathan Drake's brother Sam. And they're scavengers, they're treasure hunters, and he needs Nathan Drake's help with finding Magellan's treasure. They're trying to find the gold that Magellan had hidden from the world. So they go on an adventure together to try and find this gold, and that's pretty much the movie. There are so many elements that don't work here, guys. First of all, the fact that they casted Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, he's just a little too young. They show a sequence where there's a past sequence where he's a young kid. He's only like 10 years old and he's robbing a museum. And it's the most ridiculous scene I've ever seen. A little 10-year-old boy that knows all this history about Magellan and knows all these historical facts, but he's also robbing a museum at the same time. It just doesn't track, guys. It's so ridiculous. It's nonsense. It's just way too beyond your level of suspended disbelief. It's just too much for me to handle. I kept rolling my eyes and shaking my head. I thought it was crazy. Our villain here was so lackluster, guys. The only thing scary about this chick was her haircut. Everything about her action sequences, they looked like shit. Her choreography looked terrible. It looked like she hadn't really trained. I gotta be honest, Tom Holland was on point. All that training from Spider-Man really paid off because my guy came in shape. He looked good. And the back and forth between him and Mark Wahlberg was also on point. They had really great chemistry. That was the best part of this movie, was the chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. And there were some great moments between the two of them, but it wasn't enough to really carry this movie and really say it was a great movie. It was awesome. It just wasn't, guys. And this whole treasure hunting experience that we go on was so lackluster. The dungeons they gotta go through and the little special trips they gotta take to try and find this hidden treasure, it just was lackluster. It didn't feel like a proper treasure hunt. The little traps and booby traps, the little scavenger hunt, all of it just felt little. It just felt all on a small scale. It didn't feel extravagant. It felt kind of boring and just not that entertaining, to be honest with you. It felt very small scale. Everything felt very small scale. The only thing that was kind of large scale, I'm sure you've seen from the previews, was the airplane scene when he's falling out of the airplane. That was an interesting little scene that seemed on a grand scale, like a big deal. And there's a scene towards the end that was also kind of a nice scene with some helicopters. That was also very interesting as well. Seemed like a grand scale scene. Everything else seemed very small time. Didn't seem very interesting. This movie just felt really lackluster and didn't really give you the 1-2 punch you wanted, guys. It just really wasn't there. I played Uncharted 2 many moons ago and I loved that game. I thought it was awesome. And this movie just didn't really live up to the Uncharted name, I don't think. It just really didn't satisfy me the way I wanted it to. I give this movie a creme out of a creme de la creme or a bronze rating. It really didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't that special. The casting choice of having such a young Nathan Drake was interesting. It worked because he's so athletically built and fit that he could do all the sequences that he needed to do. But for the story, it just didn't really fit. It looked kind of cheesy. Like I said, having a 10-year-old boy robbing a museum was just absolute sheer nonsense. So a lot of it was just kind of bullshit, guys. And the villain was so lackluster and so weak. I just wasn't feeling it at all. I couldn't take it, guys. It was just too much. Let me know what you guys think of this movie if you've seen it. I'm really curious to get your guys' take on this one. I want to know what you guys think of this film, so let me know in the comment section below how you guys rate this one. Alright guys, thanks for watching and make sure to subscribe for more content and reviews, and I'll catch you on the next According to Ash. Stay gold.